The Young Turks covered Trump's press conference the other day, and towards the end of the video, they had some things to say about the nature of the media and ideological perspective. And once again, I think they were missing a much larger point. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and look, I mean, people don't trust you anymore. Maybe I had something to do with it. I don't know. I've never thought about it or had meetings with Steve Bannon about it. And the people, like, I know some people on the right love this. They love that his strategy is to take down the media, to destroy any faith in the media or the ability to report on facts.
I've said this many times. It is not just an individual opinion here or there, or individual reporting of facts here or there, or the failure to report facts, or to spin a narrative in a certain way that is destructive to the media. It is the very structure of the ownership of the means of media production. As long as capitalism exists as the structure upon which the media is built, then it will always have a capitalist bias. In this sense, there is no left-wing media. There are media outlets with a progressive perspective. There are media outlets with even a leftist perspective, but it is not this even is not a leftist media platform, because the platform is not structured in such a way that has the owners of the means of production being the actual producers of the content. And until that happens, there will always be a bias towards capitalist production, because the media that disseminates it is the one that exists presently and continues to disseminate it. So there's a giant hurdle in left-wing perspective that, as long as capitalism exists, will not be able to fully demonstrate itself. Now, as the rest of the video goes on here, the Young Turks will assert the claim that they are part of left-wing perspective, as if liberal and left-wing are the same thing, and as if they think that they are as viably left-wing as could possibly be presented. Both of those things are false.
As facts. And a lot on the right wing love this, and I understand why. I think it's incredibly short-sighted, because he has shown if even a right-wing outlet turns on him on a particular issue, he will throw you under the bus, you fools. He's attacking us, he will attack you, and some even on the left who get a lot of views attacking the media. We critique the media. There's a lot of reasons to critique the media.
The biggest one, which you completely miss, being the presence of capitalism. But you don't care about that, because you don't care that capitalism exists. It works well for you.
But to go along with the destruction of the public's faith in a media at all harms you too. Not even just in the future. I'm talking about right now. If people don't feel like there's anything objective to the news, that it's just how do I feel about what they're reporting on, that destroys your credibility too, and you need to wise up to that, because the war is being waged right in front of our eyes on a daily basis.
Ideally, in my mind, the public should lose faith in the entire social order that permeates through the whole of society. That's capitalism. And they should lose faith in any media institution that propagates that. And it should be replaced by a completely different structure of media. Not just a completely different ideological perspective, not just a pretense for being able to challenge power within the social order, but a completely different social order and a completely different structure of ownership that is wholly absent from any commentary you've ever given on the current state of the media. Because you're fine with it, You're fine with the capitalist establishment. You just want to replace it in a slightly more egalitarian way. But that can only last for so long. Capitalism is unsustainable, even in its most generous form. It will always be rolled back. So the only way to stop that is to establish a worker control of the media means of production. Worker control of the media, worker control of the press. Give the press over to the ownership of the journalists collectively. And let workers in all aspects of life, in all aspects of culture, in all aspects of society, run their own lives. Free us from what it means to have a boss. Let us be our own bosses. Let us manage our own affairs. Let us construct our own culture. Not just the culture we have to reject.
The difference between the left-wing critique and the right-wing critique of the media is the right wing wants to tear the media down and replace it with its propaganda. The left wing is critiquing the media so that it can get better.
Jank, you want to replace the dominance that large media conglomerates have and replace it with the dominance of smaller, limited liability corporations. That is essentially the same structure of media. You don't want to beat the establishment, you want to replace it. Right-wingers, yes, they want to destroy the media and replace it with their propaganda. Left-wingers, in my estimation, people who are against capitalism, want to tear down the media and replace it with a completely different media apparatus. Not just a completely different perspective, but a completely different mode of ownership, production, distribution, and exchange. So, I don't want to build the current corporate media up. I don't want to make it better. I don't want to make it more friendly. I want it to be replaced. By comparing to their right wing, I want it to be replaced by something more egalitarian, fair and just, and equal and horizontal in power dynamics. The right wing doesn't want any of that, but you don't want that either. You don't want to change the fundamental ownership structure of the media. You just want to shift slight ideological perspectives while still maintaining the overarching social order of capitalism. That's not going to work in the long run. And that is not going to be okay for the masses at large.
We want to make you better, not worse.
I don't think all do. I think some just like critiquing it because they know people like that.
Yeah,
I think there's no goal. It's setting fire. It's about sending a message, okay?
Sometimes when a particular building is not up to a certain code, it gets demolished, and the goal later is to replace it with a different structure. So, in my case, it is not just setting fire to the media. The goal is to plan the demolition to the media structure and build something new in its place. In this analogy, right-wingers want to set the media to fire in as chaotic a way as possible with no plan for replacement afterwards. Liberals want to renovate the building and move into it. And left-wingers want to demolish the media in a very carefully executed plan and then build something better and more communal and more horizontal in its place. So, it's not as simple as John Adirola is making it there.
It's not about construction, it's about destruction, but look.
As I just explained, for me, it's about both. For you, it's just about construction. For the right, it's just about destruction.
Look, yeah, but at the same time, John, let's not do both sides do it, right? So yes, there's some on the left who do that, but for the right, it is an organized attack on the media that has gone on for decades to destroy anyone who brings you facts. So on the left, there is a very legitimate critique of the media and their perspective and how it is colored in a way that they do not acknowledge.
Yes, it's colored by private ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. Oddly enough, you're not acknowledging that that's a problem.
Now, some people take that too far, I understand that, but overall, there's a reason why a lot of people on the left and right are distrustful of the media, but it isn't because everything they write is fake, and you shouldn't trust anything that's actually news.
Capitalist society creates a capitalist media complex. And a capitalist media complex, in turn, creates a capitalist society. So, as long as capitalism exists, it will create a structure of reality and culture that will align with the accepted status quo. Currently, the means of production are not held by the workers. That is true. It doesn't really matter that that's the temporary fact right now, because what should be the case is that the workers need to seize the means of production, distribution, and exchange, and establish a socialist society. That is not reality right now, but the goal is to construct a new culture in which that becomes the reality. And that's possible because we used to have a slave society, and now we don't. At least not as explicitly as we used to.
We've got to rebuild the media in a way where it is honest, serves the audience first rather than other interests, so that people can go back to trusting the media, because we need the news, we need facts. Otherwise, how do we make decisions in a democracy?
And here is one crucial disagreement I have with you, Jen Huger. We don't need to rebuild the media. We need to destroy the media and build a different media. We need to squat inside the media and seize the ownership of the media from people who currently own the media, but who are not creating the media. Unless you want to abolish capitalism, and I know you don't, then you need to stop acting like you are part of the left. You are liberal. That's what you are. That is not the same as being a leftist, being skeptical of the capitalist system. You are not. You are perfectly in favor of it. Here's where I really need to hammer a point home. There is no left-wing media as long as capitalism exists. Because anything that is created inevitably channels back to the capitalist class. Anything that is created, even a video decrying capitalism, cannot itself be fully destroying it, fully building another society around something different, as long as it still exists. There can be socially progressive media, there can be economically progressive media, there can be conservative media on either directions, but there cannot be leftist media until the complete ownership structure of the media changes. We don't need to rebuild the media. We don't need to build up the media. We need a different form of media. A socially owned media, a democratically owned media, a worker-owned media complex, a socialist media. And to have a socialist media, you need a socialist society. And to have a socialist society, you need a socialist media. Cultures create media, media creates culture. That is why my mission exists here. That is why I want to go after the media in particular. The media creates so much cultural influence that to change the structure of the ownership of the media might spell hope for the rest of society. But until then, we need to remember that our mission is not over, regardless of what ideological perspective we might have, regardless of what progressive bends we might have an affinity for. We do not have a leftist media until we have a socialist media, until we have a democratized media. I'm Jeremy Einbinder for Democratize the Media. It's our turn. Watch out.